Cheating is one of the most painful betrayals a person can experience in a relationship. The thought that the person you love and trust may be secretly seeing someone else is devastating. And yet, many men ignore the red flags, either because they're in denial or because they genuinely don't recognize the warning signs. But knowledge is power. The sooner you recognize the signs of infidelity, the sooner you can take action. Whether that means confronting your partner, seeking counseling, or deciding to walk away with your dignity intact. So, gentlemen, in today's video, we're going to talk about the 7 biggest signs that your girlfriend or wife may be cheating on you. If you notice multiple signs on this list, it's time to have an honest conversation with yourself and with her. And before we begin, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on content that helps you become the best version of yourself. Now let's get started. Number 1. She starts being secretive about her private life. Trust and openness are the foundations of any strong relationship. When a woman loves a man, she naturally wants to share her life with him. Her thoughts, feelings, experiences, and even her random day-to-day moments. She craves closeness, both emotionally and physically. But when a woman starts becoming unusually secretive, that's a red flag you shouldn't ignore. In the beginning, she may have told you everything. What happened at work, funny stories from her friends, or even little complaints about her day. But now, she barely shares anything. When you ask her about her day, she gives vague answers like, "It was fine," or "Nothing special happened." She doesn't open up like she used to. She starts guarding her phone like it's a top-secret document. Maybe she used to leave it lying around, but now she always keeps it close. If she suddenly changes her password, clears her messages, or angles the screen away from you when she texts, that's suspicious. If she suddenly needs more alone time and avoids intimacy or deep conversations, it may be because she's emotionally investing in someone else. Women don't cheat just for physical reasons. They often seek emotional connection first. If she's hiding something, trust your instincts and look deeper. Number 2. She mentions a new friend out of nowhere. New friendships aren't necessarily bad, but when your girlfriend suddenly starts talking about a specific guy you've never heard of before, it's time to be cautious. Especially if she talks about him often, laughs at his jokes a little too much, or seems overly interested in his life. Women, like men, form new friendships all the time. However, a new male friend who suddenly occupies a large part of her conversations and schedule could mean trouble. She may say, "Oh, he's just a friend," but pay attention to her behavior. Does she spend more time texting or hanging out with him than with you? Does she seem defensive or irritated when you ask questions about him? If she starts bringing him up frequently, comparing you to him, or prioritizing him over you, there's a good chance that her feelings for him are deeper than she's letting on. Emotional cheating often precedes physical cheating, and by the time you notice, she may already be emotionally invested in someone else. Number 3. She becomes emotionally and physically distant. When a woman is in love, she craves connection. She wants to be close to you, touch you, talk to you, and share her world with you. If she suddenly stops doing these things, it's a huge warning sign. She used to text you good morning, but now she doesn't. She used to cuddle up with you on the couch, but now she sits on the other end. She used to ask you about your day, but now she barely acknowledges your presence. These small changes indicate that she's pulling away emotionally. Physical intimacy is another major indicator. If she suddenly loses interest in being affectionate, avoids eye contact, or seems uninterested in sex, something's wrong. While stress or personal issues could be factors, a drastic and unexplained change in her affection levels might mean she's getting that connection elsewhere. Number 4. She seems like she couldn't care less whether you see each other or not. A woman who genuinely values her relationship will prioritize spending time with her partner. She'll go out of her way to make sure that no matter how busy life gets, you two have quality moments together. Whether it's a spontaneous coffee date, a planned weekend getaway, or simply watching a movie at home, she'll want to share experiences with you. But when she starts acting indifferent about seeing you, it's a red flag. If she suddenly has endless excuses, work is busier than ever, she's constantly tired, or she always has plans with her friends, this could be a sign that something is off, especially if these behaviors are new and weren't there at the beginning of your relationship. An even stronger indicator is when she no longer initiates plans or doesn't seem disappointed when you cancel a date. If she's not making an effort to see you, but she seems to have plenty of time for other activities, it could mean her attention is elsewhere. Also, watch out for her availability during weekends. Weekends are when most people have free time. If she used to reserve those days for you but now always seems too busy, it's time to ask yourself why. If she consistently avoids one-on-one time with you, she may be spending it with someone else. Trust your instincts. If you feel neglected, unheard, or dismissed, don't ignore it. A healthy relationship requires mutual effort. If she's no longer putting in that effort, it's time for an honest conversation about where things stand. Number 5. She begins to see problems even where there aren't any. When a woman starts picking unnecessary fights, criticizing small things, or making you feel like you're walking on eggshells, it could be a sign she's emotionally checking out of the relationship. People who cheat often experience guilt, and one way they cope with that guilt is by creating unnecessary tension. This is a psychological phenomenon called projection. She may feel guilty about her actions, so instead of admitting her mistakes, she subconsciously redirects that frustration onto you. This can manifest in nitpicking, making mountains out of molehills, or complaining about things she once loved about you. Additionally, some people use this strategy as an exit plan. By constantly finding faults in the relationship, she might be trying to convince herself, and you, that the relationship isn't working. If she convinces herself that the relationship is already doomed, it makes it easier for her to justify her unfaithfulness. If your relationship is suddenly filled with arguments over trivial things, take a step back and evaluate whether these conflicts are genuine or if they are being manufactured as an excuse for something else. A woman who is still invested in a relationship will work on resolving issues together. But if she's only focusing on problems without looking for solutions, she might already have one foot out the door. Number 6. She starts realizing that you two aren't as compatible as she thought you were. At the start of a relationship, people often focus on the positives. They accept each other's flaws and differences, choosing to see what makes the relationship strong rather than what weakens it. However, when someone is considering or engaging in infidelity, they often begin to reframe their perception of compatibility. If your woman suddenly starts talking about how you two have nothing in common, how you don't share the same values or goals, or how she's realizing that maybe you're not as compatible as she once thought, this could be a sign that her emotional connection is shifting elsewhere. A woman who is emotionally engaged in the relationship will work through differences. But if she begins fixating on what's wrong instead of appreciating what's right, she might be seeking justification for her unfaithfulness. She may even start comparing you to another man, perhaps subtly mentioning how someone else understands her better, shares her interests, or seems more aligned with her goals. If you notice this shift in attitude, don't ignore it. Open communication is key. Ask her directly what's changed and if she's willing to work on things. If she's unwilling to address these issues or seems detached, it might be time to consider if she's already emotionally moved on. Number 7. And probably the biggest revelation sign of every cheater is when they accuse you of cheating. One of the most telltale signs of guilt-driven projection is when someone who is cheating suddenly accuses their partner of infidelity, especially when there is no reason for suspicion. This tactic serves two purposes. First, it redirects attention away from their own behavior, and second, it puts you on the defensive. If your woman starts questioning your loyalty out of nowhere, constantly asking where you are, who you're talking to, or making baseless accusations, this might be a case of her projecting her own guilt onto you. She might be feeling insecure about her own actions and assuming that if she's capable of cheating, then you must be too. This behavior can be incredibly confusing and emotionally draining. You may find yourself over-explaining, justifying innocent actions, or feeling as if you're being unfairly scrutinized. Meanwhile, she may continue her own deceit while making you feel like the untrustworthy one. A healthy relationship is built on trust and honest communication. If she's suddenly hyper-focused on accusing you of things you haven't done, take a step back and analyze whether her concerns are genuine or if they're a smokescreen for her own guilt. Pay attention to whether her accusations are based on real evidence or just an attempt to shift the blame. If you suspect this is happening, approach the situation calmly. Instead of reacting emotionally, ask her why she suddenly feels this way. Her response may reveal more than she intends to. In many cases, this defensive behavior is a clear sign that she's the one hiding something. Cheating is a painful reality that no one wants to face, but ignoring the signs won't make them disappear. If you recognize these behaviors in your partner, it's time to have an honest conversation. The truth may hurt, but staying in a dishonest relationship will hurt even more in the long run. Remember, you deserve love, loyalty, and respect. If your partner isn't giving you that, it may be time to walk away and find someone who truly values you. Now we want to hear from you. Have you ever noticed these signs in a relationship? How did you handle it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest insights on relationships and personal growth. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.